Hi guys, so today we are starting a new maths unit. It is called fractions. So you've probably heard about fractions before, and we are going to be exploring all sorts of stuff about fractions. So today's lesson I am introducing the topic, but I'm also introducing the assessment part of what we're going to be doing in fractions. So to start with, in this unit, we are going to be looking at the properties of a fraction. We're going to be learning about how to represent fractions, so we can represent fractions in different ways. And we're going to be learning about the different types of fractions. Yeah, so there are different types of fractions, and we'll learn about those. And we'll also learn about what we can actually do with those. So, with your other subjects, reading and writing, we have introduced a rubric, and we're introducing one as well for mathematics. Yeah, so this is the rubric. What we are going to be focusing on today is just this first section of the rubric, and then each lesson this week will focus on different aspects of this rubric, so you guys have a really clear idea about what you should be doing to pitch for this high level, the 4 stars here. Yeah. So I'm just going to outline what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks in terms of our unit. So here's the, I guess, the categories of the rubric here. And then basically what you'll notice is that what is a fraction is lesson 1. Lesson 1, that's today's lesson. Then lesson 2, types of fractions. Lesson 3, representing fractions on a number line, and then we're representing fractions on a number line again because we felt that we want to really reinforce that concept. Then we talk a little bit about equivalent fractions, and then we go back to the different types of fractions and we learn how to actually convert between those two things, those two types of fractions. Then lesson 8 and 9, which will be end of next week, we've got a fraction project. So we'll introduce that project, we'll reinforce this rubric, and then you'll have a whole lesson on the Friday to actually try and complete that project. So in terms of today's lesson, we're focusing on what is a fraction, and the videos in today's lesson you'll watch, and you will hopefully get a good understanding about what is a fraction, and you'll learn about the different parts of a fraction. Yeah, I've got a picture here that represents the different parts. You'll see that in today's lesson. There's a couple of videos, and then there's some activities that you can do afterwards. So what are we looking for in those activities? Well, in order for you to get sort of the 1 star work, what we're looking for, or what would that look like? What would 1 star look like? Let's say we picked the fraction 1/4. Yeah, 1/4. Then this particular one, I am unable to represent my fraction with a numerator and a denominator. You might write like this. So there's my 1/4. Yeah. And hopefully you'll notice that there is something missing there. Yeah. So 2 star, I can represent my fraction with a denominator and a numerator, denominator. So that might look something like this. 1/4. Yep. 3 stars, I can label all parts of a fraction clearly, and I can determine and represent more than one fraction. Yeah? So that might look something like this. 1/4. Then we might add our numerator. Yep. Let's make that a little bit smaller, and we'll put that in there. Numerator. And then we'll create the denominator. Like so. And then we'll also have the vinculum. So there we go. Over here, we've got the numerator, the vinculum, and the denominator, clearly labelled. Yep. And that you would do that with more than one fraction. So we'll go 1/2. It's a weird looking two, but 1/2, and you'd do that again. Yep. And so that's what 3-star work would look like. And then I can represent and label multiple fractions. So you might have actually like a table there. You could have a table, you don't have to. That's one way of doing it, where you highlight the different aspects. We do 1/4, 1/2, 1/3, yeah? And that might be in a table or something like that, where you can say the numerator, let's do that with the actual words. The numerator I'll put that up there. Numerator is 1, and the denominator, that would go that way. All right. Numerator, denominator, and that would be 4. Yeah. So that's a way of representing it. The other way is to draw a diagram like this. Yeah, like this one over here. Yeah. For each of your fractions. So there we go. That's what you would need to do in today's activity to ensure that you're getting those 4 stars. Enjoy the activities today. And keep in mind this first section of the rubric while you are doing it. Thanks, guys.